A group of women liberation soldiers in uniforms with helmets were sitting in a circle. They saw me walking by and grinned at me. I was thrilled because most of the guerrilla PRG and NVA women are very shy. So I went over to them and we visited together. They're all from the north, have been in the Saigon area for a few months, and expect in a few months more to be able to go home. They find Saigon interesting but are eager to go back north as soon as they can. Then they had to go, and I stayed and talked with a very nice man soldier from near Hue. I asked why I didn't see more women soldiers, and he said not many came to Saigon. I asked what most of the women soldiers do, not having thought to ask the women, and he said lighter work, like nursing or radio communications. I told him I'd seen movies where women shot down airplanes. He grinned and agreed and said there are just not many in Saigon at this time. He wasn't exactly changing his statement, though, just being agreeable. Of course, maybe only a few women shot down planes, but were featured in the documentaries. I asked him if people are ever drafted or forced to be soldiers in the North or with the PRG. He said never, that they're all volunteers who join for varying lengths of time. We agreed that one reason the puppet soldiers of the South lost is they were drafted and forced to fight, as were many of the Americans, and if they don't strongly believe in the struggle, they won't have enough will to fight to win. He mentioned that although Hanoi was greatly destroyed in the 1972 bombings, there weren't as many deaths as there might have been because thousands of people, especially children, were moved out of the city, and because they had such good bomb shelters and tunnels. We talked about the U.S., whether it would dare come back and bomb Vietnam again. He said no, impossible. A local woman we met, whose husband is French and whose brother just returned after 35 years in the North, walked with us to eat a delicious rice bowl lunch at a nearby restaurant stand. We went with her freely, as if we were in a totally different country, without our usual concern of how it might look for her to be seen with Americans. She didn't seem to be thinking about how it might look to be with us either. And of course, more and more people think we're Russian anyway. She and others we chatted with at lunch were urging us to stay long enough to see how the revolution develops, not that we can leave yet anyway. One person asked if the Vietnamese government supports us, and I said no, and it shouldn't, of course, support us, because there are plenty of poor Vietnamese who need support more than we do. I said we don't have useful work anymore. They suggested we teach English, but I said that isn't very useful right now. So they said we should teach children, and I said Vietnamese can do it better. So they said stay and study a new skill and then use it. Then Keith and I walked to a park to see the big guns the newspaper said would be shot off for the celebration. But we didn't find any. The front page of the same newspaper told everyone not to be scared when they heard airplanes, because part of the celebration would be MiGs and other fighter jets flying in formation low over the city.